So let's start it with the product detail page. So first of all, in the app folder, I will create a new folder with square braces and I will name it product ID. So now you guys notice I have passed square braces here. As you know, Next.js is handling routing for us. It's a way to specify dynamic route so that Next.js know there might be some different values on this specific route. Let me show you. So now if we pass anything after 3000, suppose slash abc, that will go to the product ID folder. Right now it's showing 404 because we don't have anything inside the folder. So let's create new file here and name it page.js. Create a component. I will say product details. We can also fetch this value, which is abc, or whatever value we pass here. Get use params hook from next navigation const params. Here let's console.log this value params. If you guys are using id here, then you have to pass id, but in my case I'm using product id, so I will pass product ID here. Let's open up the console and see. Next.js is complaining about the component. I will pass here use client. I hope this will fix the error. Yeah, you can see ABC here, which we are getting from the URL. Let's change it to anything else. Say 3, enter, and we can see 3 here. So as we get the product ID, now we have to make an API call to the fake store API to get specific product. I will create a function const get product details, and we have to make this function async because we are going to make the API call. So we are going to use fetch to make an API call and going to save this in a res variable. So let's go to fake store API slash products. I hope we can pass one here to get a specific product. Let's just copy paste everything from here. We can pass the product ID, which we are getting from params dot product ID like this, and let's console.log the response, and we have to again do await res.json here to fetch the response. One more thing, we have to pass everything in the try catch block so that if we face any error we can print it. Console.log error looks good. Now we can do one more thing first to fetch the dynamic data. Let's go to product item. In the product item, in order to navigate from products page to product detail page, first of all we have to use router here. Use router hook from next navigation. So we imported it from router, but we need navigation here. Let's give it a name router. On click function router dot push, and then we have to specify the path name, which is dynamic product id product.id. Let's save it and refresh, and we click on any of the product and we can see 2 here. Now we have to use effect here with empty array because we are going to call this API only once, and we have to call this API here get product details. If I go to network tab again and we refresh the page, we click on any item, you can see now we are making API call to fakestore.com/products/id, and it is giving us the specific object for that particular product. Now we can close this console and let's start creating the product detail page. Let's clear out this console.log and create a state here to store the value of product. Let's give it a name product, and the function would be set product. So if I copy set product and paste it here instead of console.log, so now everything is saved here. We have to also import use state here. Let's just pass product dot title here, so you can see title here. Let's go back, hit this product. So we are getting error here because product is undefined in the beginning. We can write an if statement with return here, and we can say if there is no product, then return paragraph tag no product found. We can set loading here. So if I refresh now, it will say loading, and once we get the data, it shows the data here. And we can also use text center property of Tailwind CSS to show the text of loading in the center of the screen. So let's now design the product detail page. We can copy paste image from the product item and we can paste it in our product detail page. Now we have to import this image here from next image. We can see the image now. We can also copy paste the other content in the product detail page because the content is almost same, though we have to make some minor adjustments here to make it look little better. So let's first create the main container div for our detail page. I will pass class name, max width would be LG, and I will give margin auto m auto, and I will give it a padding of say 5. I save it, it goes in the center. I also want to reduce the height of the image h, and I will pass arbitrary value here which is 400px. Let's make it 300. For the inner div I have to pass class name flex, and I have to specify it as a column, and I will give a gap of 4 so that we have gap here. Add shadow to this image, so let me just wrap all the words. I will add medium shadow here, and I will also round it. So now I want to remove these line clamps here because now we want to show the whole text here. One thing I want to do is I will pass USD here before price. We can add buttons here as well. So let's create a button, add to cart. Now we have to specify the class name here, the color which is BG inverted. I want the width full for this button, text color as primary. I want to make rounded button, so I will say rounded MD. Let's give some padding here, let's say P2. On hover I want to change color to secondary 2. We can also change the text color. On hover text inverted. Now if I hover over the button, the style of the button changes a little bit. We can also add scaling property here. On hover, let's say hover scale to scale 105, and you can see on hover over button is scaling up. We can also pass shadow before hover, shadow SM, but on hover we are going to increase that shadow to shadow LG, and let's do MD here because SM is very less shadow. It looks good, and when I hover over the shadow increase. And same way we can create add to wishlist button. Change this text to wishlist, specify some gap here, let's say gap 4. We can remove this in the main class. We can do this flex call, and we can do gap as 4. We can remove this as well, and now it looks a little bit better. We can also increase margin a little bit here. Now let's jump back to our button. Let's say the default color is BG secondary. We can give text color as inverted, and when we hover over we can give it the other color which is, I think so, text secondary 2 is good. We can remove this inverted here because we are not changing the color on hover. So add to wish list, add to cart. That's it for the detail page. So now we have only left the dark and light theme. That would be pretty fast. That's the reason I was using these values here, so that we don't need to use any dark property from Next.js. We will just specify these colors in the dark mode here and everything would be changed. So let me grab these values. So I will change this value with the new values. I will also add these values in the description below, and you can also check them in my GitHub repo. I will share the link in the description as well. So if I click here light, everything changed to the light mode, and if I switch to the dark mode, everything changed to the dark mode. So that's it. I hope you like this video. Please like, follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So in the next video, I will add header to this web app, and I will also implement a couple of new themes, and we will change those themes from the header itself. So stay tuned. Bye for now.